So I'd like to introduce you to Da Shifu, or Venerable Yunming, who was the head monk at our full ordination this spring. And he was a source of inspiration on many accounts. One was his just stunning voice. He was the lead chanter for all the different rites that we did, and without effort, he just opened and it seemed to come out. And it was so inspiring to convey, to move the heart about what we were doing. And also his gentleness was very moving. And his patience. Every morning and during lunch, he would make various announcements, including the results of the room inspections. And he just said, I don't have it in me to be really stern. I'm just going to keep repeating myself, and eventually you will get the message to kind of like follow what I'm asking you to do. So while some people had Tiger Mother as present at their ordination, someone recently referred to as Venerable Teddy Bear, which I'm like, yeah, that kind of sums it up. It definitely gave me warm, fuzzy feelings in terms of being cared for. But the real point of why I wanted to have his picture up here today was there was something that he repeatedly mentioned throughout the 6 weeks of our ordination, and was the importance of making good connections with others. And this, I think, was often mentioned in the context of good comportment, in terms of it, like it matters how we move through space, how we walk out of a room, how we wear our robes, how we speak, just what Lama Yeshe called having a good visualization. Because especially for those in robes, it can affect the faith of others. And it's not to try and just to look good, but it's with a sincere motivation that we know that how we speak and act impacts others, their faith in the three jewels, or just also to emphasize that these connections that we're making with people is part of the causes and conditions that will help us lead them to awakening. So the importance of with each person or each living being that we have an opportunity to make a connection with, that connection right there is an opportunity we have to create a cause to lead them to full awakening. And I was thinking about this, and Venerable Tapa actually mentioned this in one of the Q&As during, I think it was the motivation for the Q&A during the concentration retreat. Just again bringing up very simply about the importance of just making good connections here as spiritual friends. So this has been alive for me recently. And in the Tibetan tradition, in the Lamrim presentation, a similarity came to mind in terms of the 4 ways of gathering disciples. In terms of just, again, making good connections, starting out with being generous and then speaking kind words, which involves giving teachings and then showing them how to practice. But at a very simple level, just being generous and making good connections to start building the network of causes and conditions where we can more and more be able to guide others to create the causes for happiness. And we also have another example from, from our teacher who lives with us here, also about the importance of making good connections. I mean, I think we've heard the story many, many times around Venerable children going to the enlightenment experience and making the determination that every single person there, 100, 200, 300, was it? Yeah, to have a meaningful conversation with each and every person there, making the importance of making good connections. And sometimes, bodhicitta, it's just this huge idea. And sometimes hearing about the activities of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in terms of emanating different bodies, first bring me 1,000 bodies, second bring me this many bodies, and it seems so far off, can seem so far off. Yet, right now, this very day, if we just ask, how today can I make a meaningful connection with those around me? Within a bodhicitta motivation, seeing that this is part of the network of causes and conditions from which I can then lead them to awakening, is very practical. And we have so many opportunities to do this, and I see others doing this. I mean, the care and love that happens almost on a daily occasion, where one of us will be trying to scoop up a bug to either get it out of the way, off the path, out of the meditation hole, to protect its life. it's an opportunity to make a very meaningful connection. And one is just to protect that life right there. But if we have the bigger motivation, is taking us and that connection to that being across many, many lives. But also how we welcome guests here and just fold them right into our community, making very meaningful connections. When we go out and share the teachings, but also just going to the hardware store. How we speak to the person at the checkout counter is a way that we can make a very meaningful connection. And hearing Venerable Semke talk about her various trips into town and the warmth and the connections that you've made is inspiring for my mind. How to go into these situations with a very clear determination that I want this to be joyful and meaningful for all involved. Yeah, that was all really I had to say, but just to a very happy framework of looking at each day to say how can I make meaningful connections with the humans, the other people in our lives, the cats, the stink bugs, and yeah, seeing that our bodhicitta can be brought right down on the ground to be something very nourishing.